So my son Zachary is 21 years old. He's a junior at the University of North Florida. And he has a girlfriend who goes to Toccoa Falls College in Georgia. So they're getting pretty serious. So he wanted to go visit her. Typically he would alert me to the fact that he was visiting her so that Jamie and I could pray for him, because it's a 6-hour trip from Jacksonville to Toccoa Falls in Georgia. So it was crazy when I found his picture with her on Instagram this last Friday. So we're like, oh, Zach's visiting Cassidy, great. So on Sunday evening, about 7 o'clock, I get a phone call from Zach, and his tire had blown out on I-95, and he had trouble controlling the car, but he managed to get it off to the side but then the changing of the tire concept started to become a reality for him, that he would have to do this or call a tow truck or many other options. So he decided to call me. One thing he did not do before his trip is check the tires. He did not check the oil. I don't even know if he looked at the gas gauge, to be honest with you. But so the other thing he didn't do was alert Jamie and I to the fact that he was going to Toccoa. So I was not as sympathetic as maybe I could have been, but I loved him through it. He called me. I said, Zach, here's what you do. Here's where the tire is. Here's how you do it. So I hung up. My wife and I, Riley was home, and Jamie's mom was there. The four of us prayed for him. We prayed God give him understanding, wisdom to change that tire, help him to get it on and get back on the road and get back to Jacksonville. He was 90 miles north of Jacksonville on I-95 when this happened. So I get a call back about 20 minutes later. Dad, the tire won't go on the rim. I cannot get it on the rim. I said, it'll go on the rim. You need to try it different ways. You need to flip it, try it the other way, get it on the bolts so that you can tighten the lug nuts. Okay. He hangs up. 5 minutes later, Dad, it won't go on. It'll go on. Just adjust the tire. It'll work. Trust me. We're praying for you. Talk to God while you're doing it. He'll get you through it. Okay. Finally, he calls back. He says, Dad, the tire's on. The lug nuts are tightened. And I'm about to pull off of the side back into traffic, back onto I-95. You need to know that my wife the entire time is saying, Randy, just call the tow truck. Just call people to go help him. We'll get him out of the mess that way. I said, no, this is a rite of passage for a young man to change a tire, to get it done, and to get back on the road. So he said, Dad, I want you to stay on the phone while I pull back into traffic, while I pull off the berm. I just want you to be on the phone with me when I do that. And I said, okay. So he says, I put it in gear. Here I go. And I could hear the traffic whooshing by, and he got back on the interstate, and he goes, Dad, it seems to be fine. It seems to be good. Thank you. Thank you for praying. Thank you for helping me through this. I said, no problem. Text me, call me when you get back to Jacksonville. And I said, drive carefully. So he, at about 10:30, 11 o'clock that night, he called me and texted me. He said he was back safe. And it was just interesting to know that my son, when he was in trouble, that he reached out to me and Jamie, and we prayed and talked him through it. And so we're glad he's safe, and we feel like it was a God thing. So that's my story.